Well, hello and happy Monday to each and every one of you. I am so glad to be back in front of you guys. Thank you, first of all, for all the birthday wishes. I said it yesterday, but I'm saying it again. I was just excited to still be in the land of the living, to be doing what I love and having people around me that I love. I had a wonderful birthday. I spent it with my sons, my grandbaby, daughter-in-law, my parents, my brother. It was a good time. We get together, it's always a riot, and y'all know I'm a family girl, so they know that makes me happy. So I just really had a good day yesterday. And anyway, but today we're going to continue to talk about the anatomy of the family. We are still dealing with dating and learning to date well. So before I get started, I need you to like, subscribe, follow, and share. Get the word out, and see you on the other side. All right, I want to teach you some things that I wish I knew before I started dating, all right? We talked about a little bit of it last week. I want to go into more detail of why. So a lot of people say don't listen to what people say, just listen to watch what they do. I say do both. Here's why. Yes, somebody can say, I want to marry you, I want to be with you, and all this other stuff. Okay, then do that. I want you to do that. I need to see that. So I'm hearing, but I want to see what you do. But also, when you hear people say things like, you ever leave me, I'll unalive myself. Don't ignore that. When you hear people say things like, I can't live without you, and I don't know what I'll do if you ever left me. Pay attention to that. That's not a cute thing. That's a warning thing for you to watch some behavior, because there could be some dangerous things that could happen on the other side of that. Let me give you an example. All right, so when I first started deciding that I wanted to be in a monogamous relationship, I got into a relationship with someone, and he was fine. He looked like genuine. That's why he got some play, right? And so as time went on, he would say things to me, and I'd hear it, but it wasn't registering to me. You ever leave me, I'll unalive your mother. I'm 18. I know that it's not normal, but I'm not thinking like, I'm like, he playing, and then he say things like, you ever leave me? I can't live without you. I don't know what I do to myself or someone else, and this and another. So it was very possessive behavior. He would say things that in the moment, because I was young, I wasn't paying that any attention. And plus I was a fighter. So it was just like, okay, you want to do something to me, I'm going to fight you. That's how I felt. And then I got sick. Changed the whole game. Because at that point I was weak and I couldn't do anything. And I was, just really going through all these different changes. Well, 3 years later, child later, I'm done. And this man stalked me and tried to unalive me and the kids. Now I want you to let that sit. How did I miss it? Because I didn't pay attention to what was being said to me until he rigged my apartment to explode. Sit with that for a minute. Dating people is serious. You need to make sure that you're listening, that you're paying attention. Don't ignore the red flags. Girl, he's so funny. He said, that ain't funny. If you have a friend that you hear him say some stuff like that, just let him know that's not funny. Baby, you better listen to that, because that's not cute. That's dangerous. All right, so here's what I'm going to start with the man. All right, let's start with men. We talked about the flip side of the warning signs. Listen to what they say. We need to listen to what they say in a positive way, too. There's a lot of times that men are, not all men, but some men are afraid, right? They don't know how to express themselves. But they are expressing themselves, but you're missing it. If you want to know how a man feels about you, listen for these two words. We, us. Those are inclusive words. If a man is not sitting down talking about, his future and what he would like to do and all those different things, he doesn't see a future with you. Cut him off and let him go find what he needs. Because if not, he's going to do it eventually anyway, because that's not what he needs. you're not what he needs. Now, let me say this. That doesn't mean that you're not enough. That just means what he needs is not in you. Every woman carries something different. And don't get insulted if some man's like, look, I just don't see us working out. That's a good thing, because what's in you, there's somebody that needs it. And wasting your time in a door that's shut and then walked off, it makes it hard. So, listen for the we, the us, and together. If you hear those terminologies, what he's letting you know is he is looking at his future and he's including you in it. And I think that's so important for you to understand that I see a future with you and I can't wait to see us. Or when I was listening to a podcast, I think it was on Future Wifey, and the guy said, when we get married, and I think they were like on one of their dates, he had already seen what he wanted. And so he had already started making comments about when we, us, together. So I want you to look at that. If you want to know where you are in a man's heart and in his life journey, listen to what he says. Does he use you in inclusive language? I can't wait for us to, or man, we can go in. If there's inclusive language, watch it, because there's a man standing in front of you that may want you. And if you're not listening to the language, you may miss it. So make sure you're looking for inclusivity terms when you're in your relationship. Because if he don't ever say we, us, together, keep on moving, baby, because he doesn't see you in that place. All right, let's talk about the ladies. Ladies, we have a generation of women that are called alpha female. People used to call me an alpha female. I am not an alpha female. I am a leader, but I'm not an alpha. Because I know how to go home and sit down and be cute. Right? Now, let me start dealing with that. First problem is this, and I probably need to do a whole video on that, so I will. So let me just give you some steps, and then I'm going to come back and do another video on that, maybe this week. We'll see. All right, so number one, women look for intimacy. We're wired that way. We were created that way. I don't care in what community you may be in, but everyone wants to be loved. Every single one. Who you want to be loved with, that ain't my business. But every woman desires to be loved. That is intrinsically in us. We want to be loved. Second thing is we want security. Now, I know there's a gold-digging society right now that has got everybody scared that somebody wants your money. Some of them may do. But there are some women that want to feel safe. They want to feel secure with that person. That's what brings that alpha female down, when there's security there. I feel safe when I'm with you. I don't feel like I have to be on the defense. I'll give you an example. I've dated a lot of Christian men, and because I am a woman that knows the Bible, and I'm in leadership positions, and I'm doing all types of stuff in the world, out of the world, they would try to break me, right? Because they wanted me to, oh, she's an alpha. She's going to try to tell you what to do. Not in my character. Not what I want to do. But what I do is, if I'm going to turn my life over to you, I've taken care of myself. I've been good to me. I need to make sure you're going to be good to me too. You need to love me the way that I love me. That's important. So if her guard is up, it might be because you're not making her feel safe and she doesn't feel secure. But if a woman starts letting her guard down and she's letting you into her life, she's letting you into her thoughts, she's letting you into her space, that's because you make her feel secure. Yes, also, if you get married and you have children, that's one thing that women, that's why they asked, what kind of job do you do? Let me tell you why. Women are already thinking about the future in the family. We already know that having kids is expensive, because it's not just, they come into the house. No, you need a whole life. You're looking at $18,000 just out the gate over a couple of years, dealing with children with milk and formula and, clothes. So security is more than that, but that's another piece of it. Can you take care of the household if I have to stay home with the kids, or, things like that. And the last thing is we want a leader. A lot of us have had to be the leaders of our family in our home, but if she'll submit and be like, babe, whatever you want, you make the decision. She sees you in her future and she trusts you enough to lead. All right. So those are your tips for today. Things I wish I knew when I was younger, but I got it now. Anyway, you guys have a great Monday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.